What's up? Welcome to Cameron+Deanna. My name is Cameron. We're back. Been a busy couple of past Sundays for me, and so haven't been able to do any streams, but finally had some time where I either was not away or did not have people coming over for Marvel Multiverse, and so yeah, had a lot of fun and have had a pretty good past couple weeks. And so I thought it was finally time for us to come back and chat some. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. We are going to be mainly looking at the latest Disney Lorcana set, Reign of Jafar, and kind of chatting about cards from that. The reason that we're doing this is kind of twofold. One, I've been really into Lorcana lately. Been regularly going to League and doing pretty well. I've only gone undefeated once, but have been pretty regularly 2-1-ing. And so that's been pretty great. But then kind of with that, also want to start thinking more critically about cards and deck building and stuff like that. And so we're going to be talking through those. And then, yeah, just kind of vibing, hanging out. Hopefully things will be pretty chill. Did go to a local convention here in Dallas yesterday, and so I do have a little bit of con crud. Did not sleep great last night, which is also part of why we're doing this instead of like something where like I need to like Twitch be paying attention to game mechanics and stuff like that. This is something I can more just like slow down and think about. And as we talk through cards and talk through all of that, I'm pretty excited. I have really been, like I said, enjoying Lorcana, been enjoying the vibes of it, and I am pretty excited for some more stuff. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say before we got going. I don't know how easy it's going to be to see. Oh, we're at the wall. Nope, went the right way the first time. I got some new art. You can kind of see some of it over here on the floor. I say the ground. The ground is outside. So we got a Spider-Gwen hanging out and then posted pictures over in a handful of Discords, but I got everything framed. Now I got to figure out where it's going to go and what we're going to do with it. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Figuring out where things are going to go. I also got a new play mat that I'm going to be taking to Lorcana League. So I'm excited for that as well. Some good stuff. Got some new pins as well. I need to get my new pin board up and ready to go. Because I already had too many pins. And so I'd already bought a new pin board. And now I have purchased more. Just because these are within hands. I got this Gambit. I'm about to make a name for myself. He's super cool. And then I got a Pikachu as Aang. And that one is cool as well. Same from the same company. And so, but yeah. Got to get all that figured out. Got to figure out what I'm doing. Got some new stickers as well for my water bottle. Yeah, other than that, we're going to just kind of vibe. I did get I was chatting with the Rules of Villainy podcast, which is like a pretty prevalent Lorcana podcast. And was asking them about their like opening week tournament that they 3-0'd. So congrats to the mayor for that. And they gave me some various cards, and so they're not ones I'm overly familiar with because I have not dove into this set as much as I needed to because I was kind of scrambling to get to my current deck for the past couple weeks of League. And so, yeah, we're going to kind of look for those cards as we go. Trombone. Oh, man, I have not soundboarded in so long.
Hello there.
There we go. Found it. Hope you're doing good, Trombone. Trombone, I played some board games recently. I don't remember if I had posted them in a Discord where you saw them, but I recently played some of the X-Men Marvel Rivals, and so that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I hope you had a great birthday recently as well. But, okay. Yeah, I have normal Marvel, not Marvel Rivals, Marvel Dice Thrones. There we go. So the X-Men Dice Throne. I have the general Marvel ones, and then picked up half of the Dice Throne ones at May the 4th sale, and so that was a lot of fun. I played as Gambit. You see Oathbound, yes. I have not started it either. I picked it up. I picked up that. I Am Made of Death and one other. Oh, and Sunrise on the Reaping around the same time, and have not had a chance to get to Oathbound. That was unfortunately the third one. And then I got distracted with some TTRPG books, and so have not actually gotten to it, and has just kind of like sat behind me as my constant reminder that I need to get to this and read it. So I've read the rest of the series, and so I'm excited to eventually get to it. But with all that said, for books, links in the description. If you ever want to check out my story graph, it should be down there, as well as my backlog where I track what games I'm playing. But yeah, let's hop on in. So this is Dreamborn. It's a website that's really good for tracking cards and for Lorcana. If you're familiar with Magic, this is a really good place, kind of like Archidect, if you've used that, or Scryfall. We should turn the hold to let the next person online read it, since you hadn't been feeling that. Yeah, that happens. Shout out to the local library. I have been working through a pretty good amount. I'm already close to my goal for the year, which was 60 books. And so, granted, I almost exclusively do audiobooks. I don't read a lot of physical books or ebooks, but I live the audiobook life. But, I think we're going to chat through some cards. We can go here. This is the deck I'm playing right now. It's called Blurple, for blue purple. And so it centers around using this depot. He's just a child, and Sail the Azurite Sea to basically get ahead on ink, so you can play your cards faster. So ideal is to play one of those on turn 2, and then you just have like a whole bunch of 4-drops like Anna, Genie, Iago, Goat, Rabbit. And so the idea is to just like play some combination of those starting on turn 4 and then just kind of going from there. I like this deck because it also gets to play Elsa, Spirit of Winter, which is like one of the big face cards of Lorcana. And so that's been pretty cool as well. The card does a lot of work, especially combined with like Elsa, Fifth Spirit. The deck has a lot of ability to like lock down your opponents. So if they're like, basically you try to just like get ahead of them and then hold them in place, like hold them so they can't quest, they can't do stuff, or their ability to do that is like thrown off. And so about 40 on Libby. Nice. 3 physical. So work in progress. I think probably close to 50. Don't track your reading because you read too fast and it takes away. Yeah. I only track when I finish, like start a book and finish a book. I don't like tracking like daily amounts or something like that is way too much for me. But yeah, so let's jump in. So we do have 2 windows open. They kind of look the same for now. This one is just set 8, so just the latest Reign of Jafar. There is a story in Lorcana. I honestly have been wanting to figure out what it is, but have not been paying attention. But there is one. And so this one is going to be just those new cards. And then we are going to also have another tab if we want to go look up at some other cards while we're going through. And then I also have another one. This is the deck builder. So what we're going to do for this is kind of just track if there's any cards that like spark joy. We're going to add them to this list just to kind of see if there's anything we specifically want to try to brew and think of decks to make, because with the release of set 9 later this year, Lorcana is going to have its first rotation. And so while I don't necessarily anticipate anything that I would brew here today being a type of thing that would last through rotation, it is just like a thought exercise that I want to go through, and I want to see like what it is that I am interested in. So but yeah, so let's get started. So Reign of Jafar, we shout out to the to Rocket, Turbo, and Jet as Louie, Dewey, and Huey. Not a huge fan of the fact that they're out of order, but here we are. And so We're actually going to go Huey first since he's a 2-drop. So 2-drop uninkable 2/3 quests for 1. Can we go in another? I was trying to like mess with the. Yeah, this is fine. So when this character quest, let's go one more. I try not to have like the top bar take up way too much space, but this looks like it's hopefully readable. And so, so Huey, when they quest, you can pay 1 less for the next character you play. So on turn 2, you play this. Turn 3, you quest with it. And then you can play a 4-drop on turn 3. This is kind of like right in line with what my deck is trying to do, though it locks you into doing characters. So that's pretty cool. It could ramp you into Dewey, which is a 4-drop 4/4 that quests for 1, and is inkable. And then Louis says, while this character is a 3-drop 3/2, so the same cost but inkable, or 1 more expensive, but same thing, but quests for more. While this character is being challenged, the challenging character gets -1 attack. That's pretty cool. They don't necessarily synergize great together. I think that there is a Donald that synergizes with the nephews later in the set, but I could be misremembering. And I think, can we, oh, that just like full on resets everything. Okay, so here we got the Goofy Groundbreaking Chef, 4 cost 3/4. Quests for 2. At the end of your turn, remove up to 1 damage from each of your other characters. Ready each character you removed damage from this way. This is one of the ones that Rules of Villainy called out as being really interesting. This does something like kind of to the Rules of Lorcana that I think is interesting, where you have, normally when you challenge a character, you take damage and deal damage, and ideally you take out the opposing character. So this, first off, like heals your character after you do that. So that's pretty cool. But then it readies them so they can't be attacked back or challenged back, which is also pretty cool. I feel like there needs to be some sort of like specific breakpoints that you're trying to like hit with this, of like trying to get certain things off the board or get certain things readied so they can't be taken out again. But like, I think those breakpoints are probably pretty common, of just like, you want to just have your character survive. This would be interesting just as a brainstorm in a Amber Steel list, where you are using this as a way, like comboing this with your resist characters that take less damage. That could be pretty cool. And then, yeah, I think that would be an interesting way. I don't know if there's cards that synergize specifically with Goofies. There are cards that Goofy is a hero. There are cards that synergize with heroes, but that's cool. And basically, as long as Goofy attacks into each of your other characters. So Goofy doesn't save himself. Never mind, that point was moot. Next, we got Antonio Madrigal. Madrigals kind of all have a theme around songs and finding the other Madrigals, and we see a bit of that here. 4-drop quests for 2/2. Once during your turn, when one of your characters sings a song, you can search your deck for a character card that costs 3 or less and reveal that card to all players. Put that card in your hand and shuffle. So it basically tutors up a 3-drop every turn, as long as you use a character to sing. Which, like, feels powerful, just because Madrigals like to care about songs already. And you don't have to play this in that shell. You could play this in a shell with like Lady, that we'll talk about in a little bit, where you just like use this as a way of get a powerful 3-drop. It could be pretty cool. Next we got Minnie Mouse, 4 ink 08. Let's go. She's got that defense. Quest for 1 has Bodyguard. So the way that Bodyguard works is if they're exerted, they have to be challenged and taken out before you can challenge another character. Then this character gets +1 damage for each damage on her. So the more that she's taken, the more that she'll deal on future challenges, which is pretty cool. Like, obviously that's a big challenge to get through. Does like fall over to a stiff breeze. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that banishes characters based on their power. And so starting with 0 power is pretty rough. But I mean, if you can 1 for 1 or 2 for 1 with her, that feels like a pretty good thing. Yeah. Next up down here, Ludwig von Drake, all-around expert. 2 ink, 1/1. When you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character card of your choice. When this character is banished, you may put this card in your inkwell face down and exerted. So this kind of like 3-for-1s your opponent, which is pretty cool. So like, first off, one of the big differences between Lorcana and other TCGs is that your character, or all of your cards, are also your resource as long as they have this little swoopy around them. That means that they can be put in your inkwell instead of being played face up. And then you can use that as the resource for future turns. And so because of that, there are like 100% creature decks that are in the format. So like it is possible that you could get into a matchup with Ludwig where it's just a complete whiff, but you do still get to see your opponent's hand. And so like that's some meaningful information there. And then it is cool that when he's banished, you get to ink him for free, basically. We're going to put Ludwig on here. Because I do think that that effect is interesting and could be, like, that's the kind of stuff that I like, is these like weird tempo-y cards where like you're gaining some sort of advantage over your opponents. And the fact that like I said, that this becomes, take one of their cards, quest with it, when they kill it, it becomes an ink. Like, that seems like you can do some cool stuff there. Charlotte is just a vanilla, so no effect. A new Tiana. One of my friends at Lorcana is a big Tiana fan and is very upset about this card because she's not inkable. Singer 6, that's pretty cool. When you play a song, each opposing character gets -1 attack until end of turn. So not when she sings, just when you sing. So you could theoretically like sing 2 or 3 songs, and then have some like really good attacks or really good defense because they can't attack in because you've sapped their strength. That's pretty cool. Amber is like the main, Amber, Amethyst, and Steel are like the 3 major song colors. And so like that feels like that's a lot. What are the 6 cost? I guess it can be below. What are the songs? Type song. I wish there was, because I want to filter out this. You know, let's just look at the 6s. What are the big songs? So let's see. Remove 3 damage from a character. All opposing characters get -3. Look at the top 3 cards. You can reveal a character, item, or location with cost 6 or less and play for free. That's pretty, I mean, it even has Tiana on it. This is probably clearly like they want you to play Amber, Amber Sapphire. Let's see, what is this one? Name a card, return all characters of that name from your discard to your hand. Pirate's Life is rotating, but each opponent loses 2 lore, you gain 2 lore. And then return up to 2 items from your discard to your hand. So, I mean, like, the combo here of, like, down in New Orleans, like, Tiana on ideally 3. So you, like, ramp into Tiana using something like Tipo or Sail. And then on turn 4, you sing down in New Orleans, shrink their characters, and then eat their strength. Seems pretty cool. I'm curious. A lot of the current main singing deck is Steel Song, which is Amber Steel, but a lot of its songs are rotating come the fall, and so I'm very curious to see, like, if this card, like, are we going to see a bigger song style deck that's more synergy based versus more removal based? Because a lot of the Steel songs deal damage. We got Baby Maribel. 02, quest for 1. When you play this character, you can reveal a song in your hand and gain 1 lore. This is a really cool effect, just because this is like what you, like, on turn 1, you can instantly start gaining some lore, and it gains lore out of nowhere. and it doesn't cost you anything. It's not like you have to discard the song. You just have to reveal that you have it. This is why I always get stuck deck brewing of like, oh, what are all the Maribel? Spell Maribel correctly. Oh, is it? Did I just flip the? Yeah, I did. I did Maribel instead of Mir. So like this into like you do have a shift. I like this card. Yeah, so there's only one shift Maribel, which kind of like locks you into having to play Amber Amethyst. When this character quests, you can return a song that costs 3 or less. If there was a like 2 or 3, like a shift on 2 or 3, I feel like this could be really good. At current state, it just feels like it's gonna die too often. Whereas versus like these ones, and then probably you're playing some combination if you're playing this deck, but like this Maribel immediately shifts into this one. So, yeah, I like this card. I like the idea of this. And then here we got the lady that we discussed earlier. We're like 1 row in. Yeah, 2 rows in. We might have to hustle. When you play this character, you can play a character with cost 2 or less for free. So I like this card a lot because it gives you a ton of value. Like, it feels like on turn 3, you're playing another 2-drop, and like you've now put roughly 5 characters on the board going into turn 4. There's a couple like Amber decks that can already basically 1-turn kill by turn 4, and just feels like another way of doing that. I could see this being a big part. Oh, I know what we're going to do. Let's put on another filter. I don't necessarily like doing rarity filters, but I think for the sake of not talking 8,000 cards, we're going to filter out commons and uncommons. And so, okay, the Colonel. I like this art a lot. I think this one looks really cool. The Old Sheepdog. When you have 3 or more puppy characters in play, this character gets +2 attack and +2 lore. A 3/6. I feel like this card is just too expensive for what puppies want to do. I just don't think that that's the vibe that you want. Like, I don't think this by turn 6. I feel like if you're playing a characteristic deck, you probably should have won already. Could be wrong. During your opponent's turn, whenever... Oh, also, shout out to Chief Bogo. Let's get some more Zootopia cards in Lorcana. I'm pretty bitter. Granted, I'm playing the card, but I'm pretty bitter that Popsicle is the best Zootopia card, and not any of the other ones. And so, I say best, most played. And so, Chief Bogo, 5/5, quest for 1. During an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters with bodyguard is banished, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character card that costs 5 or less, you can play the character for free. Otherwise, put it on top of your deck. I think it's kind of like one of the other cards that we discussed, or kind of like the Colonel too. Of like, I just feel like this is too expensive. There's already a Mufasa that lets you get a character off the top of your deck for free. Granted, I think that's rotating. Mufasa. Yeah, this is set 2. So like this one, whenever this character is banished. So like theoretically, you could get more hits off of Chief Bogo than off of Mufasa, but I don't know. It just feels like that's going to be a hard thing to hit, depending on what we get next set. Bruno, we don't talk about him, so we'll skip. And I'm kidding. I'm sure everyone has made that joke about the Bruno cards. When this character sings, shift 5, so you can play him onto different Brunos for 2 less. And then when this character sings a song, you can draw a card for each character you have in play. That feels like a lot of value. What are our Bruno? What are our Bruno cards? So there's this 4 cost that's in the same set. Whenever this character, when you play this character, chosen opposing character can't ready. So that's a cool lockdown, and that's kind of like in vibe of what I'm doing with my deck. And then we got over here. This is the one when you play this. This chosen character gains on the banish and returns your hand this turn. So that's about challenging. And then this one from set 4, name a card. This is the reveal. unfortunately, like this is really the only like 2 that you would want to be playing here. But like I don't know, I feel like if you could draw 2 or 3 cards off Bruno, like that would be pretty cool. Oops, did not mean to exit out of that cards. Let's put that Bruno on here. Bruno, I am interested in this card. Do not think that card's gonna be playable, but I am interested in it. Tramp shift, when you can pay 4, then during an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. So basically it's a defensive card, so it makes it so that it's harder for them to attack into you. That's pretty cool. I think there are playable tramps right now. Tramp. This one... Oh yeah, both of these tramps are playable and are in the colors of this one. Like, that does seem pretty good. Then you play this character chosen. Yeah, and this one is just when you play it. Yeah, so like this could be a good like top end for that tramp. I'm interested in that card. Tramp. I'd be curious to see how that goes. Like, the Amber Emerald deck is just a solid character deck, so like having that feels good. Wreck-It Ralph. My friends opened this as an enchanted. When you play this character and whenever he quests, you can return a racer character with cost 6 or less from your discard to your hand. If you do, gain 1 lore. I like that you gain lore there. Unfortunately, like racers have just like not been playable in Lorcana. Characteristic decks really struggle, just because there's like, I'm going to say Lorcana isn't necessarily even with what's a what. So for example, Tramp is like, is not a puppy. Neither is the Colonel, because they're dogs, not puppies. And so like, it kind of makes it hard to like, it's hard to build this in a puppy deck when this doesn't help itself or doesn't help future copies. And of course these are like high-end cards, like high ink cards. So that's not a huge thing, but like at least Ralph is a racer. So theoretically you could use Ralph to get your another Ralph back. This could be cool with like a discard effect. I don't know if there's a lot of that in those colors, but that would be pretty cool if that was a thing. But yeah, I would love racers to be a thing, but unfortunately they just really haven't been. I played against them 1 week at League. And then scroll down too far. Got another Perdita. Go here. I like this art. Shift 4, when you play this character, you can put all puppy cards from your discard into your inkwell face down and exerted. I dig this Perdita. Nope. I did. Man. We're going to just blame the con crud. I forgot that this card had an enchanted. That's a super cool enchanted. But yeah, this also just works well. Like, your other Perditas care about puppies anyway. Like, this feels like a card that, like, I love that the promo is cheaper than the pack card. I don't know. This just feels like a great top end. Of like, you've played a bunch of puppies, they've all quested out a lot. Then you play Perdita, you get your puppies back. Seems like a cool vibe. Bolt. There is a very good Bolt in the format. When you play this character enters play exerted, and it's an 0/4. That's a bit much for turn, like, but like quests for 4. I wish I could get rid of these prices. Can I hide that? No, it does not look like I can easily. Yeah. I'm not going to go ups. I'm not going to go like clicking around. But go back here. Okay, cool. It stayed where I was. But quests for 4, like, that's pretty exciting. Like, if this can live. And then, like I said, there is a good Bolt. This one. This is from set 7. So when you ready this character, gain 1 lore for each undamaged character you have in play. Like, that seems like a pretty good synergy. Now, granted, like, if you're playing these separately, like, you're losing that questing for 4. And this feels like you kind of need to play it onto an open board and would struggle a lot in a character-heavy matchup. But next up, we got Rhino Shift 2. When this character has no damage, it gains resist 2, and then they quest for 2. Like, that's pretty strong. Like, I don't know. Is there a Rhino? There is a Rhino that costs 1. When you play this character, the gets -1. Okay. Like, I mean, that's like the solid fact that this is basically can take out a lot of weaker characters right away. I don't know. That seems pretty good as long as you can keep damage off of them. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Another lady. When you play a character, this character gains +1 damage or attack this turn. When this character has 3 or more, she gains 2 lore. That just, I don't know. That feels very divisive. Of like, it's a 1-drop, so like this would mean that like on turn 3, you could maybe play 2 characters or 3 characters, then quest for 3 with this card. I feel like there's better 1-drops. Those abilities seem like against each other. And then we got Clawhauser. I'm so excited for this card. A bodyguard with Singer 4, I think, is a very fun combination. So like this helps you sing songs quicker, but then also like protects your other characters and quests for 2. So like if you're singing or questing, like this card feels really good. A lot of the cards I think that currently have Singer don't necessarily quest for a lot. And so I could be wrong there, but that feels like a good combo. And then here we got Donald Duck. Oh, this is the one I was referencing earlier. For each item named the Nephew's Piggy Bank you have in play, you can pay 2 less to play this character. So theoretically, this could be free if you had all 4 piggy banks. When you play this character, your other characters have tap draw a card, I assume is what that's going to say. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's, if you could get this on turn 4 with 2 piggy banks, but then you don't have a lot of characters in play because you spent 2 turns playing piggy bank. So like that. Nephews. So this is, yes, like this is on turn 2 and turn 3. You've had to play a piggy bank to play Donald on 4, and you just like maybe have 2 other characters. Now, granted, you could play this on like turn 5 or play this later, but like chosen character gets -1 attack until it's already okay. And then you can Donald Duck in play. You can pay 1 less for this item. So if you'd like 1-drop Donald into this for a 1, I could see that being okay. I do not think competitive, but okay. It means no worries. Sorry for singing, everyone. Return up to 3 characters from your discard to your hand. Pay 2 less for the next character you play. So, but it's a sing together 9, but is a 9-cost song. That feels like a lot. To like, I mean, you are like basically drawing 3, but it feels like if you can sing 9, you should probably quest. I don't know. It feels like a trap. Hades, when you play this character and whenever they quest, you may deal 2 damage to another character of yours to draw 2 cards. There is a bit of that theme in Ruby of like deal damage to your characters to get an effect. I don't know. They always just feel iffy for me unless you have ways of like healing your characters. It just feels like you're setting yourself up for trouble. This does cost 7, and is uninkable, which probably means they're unplayable. But unless you can like cheat them in somehow, but I don't know how you're doing that. Elsa, Fierce Protector, 1 lore, choose and discard a card to exert a chosen opposing character. If this quested for more, I would be considering playing this in my deck, just because I could then shift onto it with the other Elsa. But as it is, like just questing for one, I feel like is not worth it. There's enough other ways to exert things that having to lose a card to do it just doesn't seem worth it. I'd rather just like play a card that can exert something. Although of course this is like repeatable, but Pinocchio evasive to lore 04 at the start of your turn. Whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card, or once during your turn, you may draw a card. So I want to like Pinocchio because this feels like right in line with the deck that I'm playing. It's like play this on 3, quest with it on 4, untap on 5, and draw an extra card. They are evasive. Like this is something that I'm probably going to like test a copy of or two in my deck, but like I don't know. It just feels like you're basically playing this to draw a card in 2 turns if nothing goes wrong. And then like from there it's gravy because then every turn you're drawing a card. But like, I don't know. It just feels like I'm not sure what that would replace. But man, I feel like it could be good. But my gut says it's too slow, especially being an 04. It's just too easy to take out even with evasive. Unfortunately, like dies to brawl. Jiminy evasive when this character is exerted, opposing character with rush enter exerted. That's pretty cool. Like, that's a cool like anti-rush tech. But that's probably all it's gonna be. Next up we got Bambi. When you play this character, gain a lore, quests for 3, and then when an opponent plays a character, return this character to your hand. So that's not like an optional ability. So you do have to like bounce Bambi. Bambi is very fragile if you quest with it. And then the odds of you questing with it are very slim since, like I was saying, like Lorcana, unlike Magic where you can have like creatureless decks, that's not really a thing in Lorcana. Like you can't really have a deck that doesn't have characters. And so it just feels like this is going to always either get bounced or you're going to quest for 3 with it once and then lose it since it's just a 1/1. I feel like this should have evasive. Like a 1/1 with evasive that has this ability I think would be cool versus here with Pinocchio. Yeah. For 8 we got Monstro. 6/8 quests for 2. It has rush. Then you can choose and discard a card to ready this character. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. I've seen some versions of Blurple playing Monstro. 8 just feels like so much ink. Like I do think this is a good versus the Elsa. Like this is a good like discard effect. Basically, you're discarding a card so that Monstro can take out a second thing of your opponent's, which like feels really good. But I don't know. 8 ink just feels like a lot. I feel like at that point I would rather just have drawn cards and then played what I drew. But I don't know. This is another one. Oh, let's add them to the Monstro. And then man, spelling my dudes. Oh, it's 1. Pino. Add these as the ones that we're interested in. Cusco, Impulsive Llama. I don't think I finished my thought there. I could see testing one of these or 2. This is like a 2 of. It just feels, again, it just feels like if you're in the board state where you need Monstro, you probably could have done other things with your ink to not be in the board state where you need Monstro. But I could definitely be wrong there. I'm curious to see how that will pan out. Okay, Cusco Impulsive Llama, 5/5 quests for 2. When you play this character, each opponent chooses one of their characters and puts that card on the bottom of their deck for each opponent. Then each opponent may draw a card. So basically, you're turning your opponent's worst character into a free card for them. So there's I think it's a Lady Tremaine that when it enters, it kind of has the same effect where they banish the character of their choice. This feels like a worse version of that because they draw a card. Like it just feels like, also shout out to Kronk in the back. It just feels like that's not worth it. Like if you got to choose, I think that would be a different story and you could take your opponent's best character and turn them into a card. So take their Tamatoa, take their half shark, take their genies, and turn them into just a random card. But for this, it doesn't feel worth it. It is hard to go through your deck in Lorcana, and there's not a ton of ways to shuffle. So like it is a pretty guaranteed way of getting rid of that character. But I just don't overly like turning it into something else. Yzma. I know Lorcana Villain has posted like a deck with this that I think is interesting. When you play this character, if you have a card named Pull the Lever in your discard, you can search your deck for a card named Wrong Lever and reveal that card to all players. Put that card into your hand and shuffle your deck. So let's go look at all of those. Pull the Lever. Okay, so Pull the Lever. Choose one. Draw 2 cards, or each opponent chooses and discards a card. I like that a lot. I do think that that's a solid effect. There is a song called Friends on the Other Side that's a 3 ink draw 2 cards, but you can sing it. But the fact that this can also tag, like if your opponent is sitting on 1 card in hand, this can tag that 1 card some amount of the time. Feels pretty cool. Oh, it's going to be a promo as well. Then Wrong Lever. When you choose one, return chosen character to their hand, or put a card named Pull the Lever from your discard on the bottom of your deck to put chosen character on the bottom of their player's deck. So going to what I don't like about Cusco, I like that for this one, you get to choose. So like basically you're trading the synergy of having a Pull the Lever in your discard for future Yzmas into getting rid of one of their characters. So like that feels pretty cool. Like that's a cool synergy. Again, 6 ink is a lot for Yzma, but that feels like a fun like value play. Is value good? I don't know, but let's add it to the list. I just immediately forgot how to spell Yzma. That is a card that I do think is interesting. There's a lot of other Yzmas as well, and so it's possible that you could run some sort of shift synergies. I think there's a Yzma that draws a card. Am I making that up? I must be. Oh, it's a draw and discard. Which is fine. Like that would let you discard Wrong Lever or Pull the Lever for it. That'd be interesting. Again, I don't know. I think that's just too much value. I think you're just spinning your wheels too much, but that is interesting. Okay, Mother Gothel. When you play this character, you can deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to give that character Challenger 1, and when this character banishes another, is banished in a challenge, return it to your hand. So basically, if you were to play this on turn 2, you have to deal 2 damage to something. That something has to survive. Then you get to challenge, and that thing comes back. That feels like a lot to ask. So this is definitely not a 2-drop play, which I think just kind of makes this unplayable. If it quested for more and you had like the out of sometimes you just play it as a quester, I think that would be fine. But we got an Ana that does have shift, so that is cool. This is in our deck's colors. Quest for 2, it does have support, so whenever they quest, you can give their power to another character. Of course, I can't read it because the price thing is in the way. When this character quests, if you have a character named Elsa in play, you can draw a card. I do like that. There's also a lot of sorcerers, just like coincidentally, in the Blurple deck. And so I do like that as a possibility. The problem... Oh, we do not want... Hello? Okay, get rid of this. So I do like that as a possibility for it. I could definitely see the problem with it being that I'm playing on an Icebreaker, but a lot of the current versions of Blurple are not. And so I could see that being a trade-off. And then, are there other Annas that are, when you play this character, if you have a character named Elsa, you can ink, don't necessarily want to be doing that. That's the one that we're playing. That's more expensive. this is when you play this character, each opponent chooses and exerts one of their ready characters. Not the best, but that's like playable. If you have another hero, this character gains 1 lore. When this quests, each hero gets something. When you play this character, if you have a character named Elsa in play, choose an opponent. Choose an opposing character. There we go. They can't ready. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't think there's going to be a lot of... The fact that you can't reliably get an Elsa in play ahead of these Annas is going to make this one harder to shift with, because you want that other versions to already have something. But again, this one I think it's going to be less playable than Monstro. But like, I do think that is an interesting tech that you could pull in, because ideally you shift this on 4 and then you can play an Elsa on the next turn. But I don't know, that just feels like a lot. It feels like we're on copium at that point. But yeah, let's see what else. The Sultan. Vanish. So if they're targeted by an action, they get banished. One of your illusion character's quests exert chosen opposing character. So it kind of helps you like lock down a character to then attack them. That seems pretty cool. Jafar. This is kind of like the face card of the set. Quests for 3, which is solid. When this character quests, you can draw a card, then choose and discard a card. If an illusion is discarded, so you can play it for free. So theoretically, this could play. I don't know what's the highest cost. Illusion. Panda boy, how you doing today? It was great seeing you yesterday. Abu is an illusion. When this character quests, gain lore equal to the lore of chosen opposing character. So you could like get that for free. I mean, just getting a free Cobra or Iago could be solid. A lot of these other ones don't feel great. Yeah. I'd be curious. Something that I've talked about before is like there are certain cards in Lorcana that I feel like have to be powerful but never are. And this feels like it's going to be a card that falls into that category of like there's just not going to be enough good illusions to make that card worth it. But if there were to be, like, that card could be super powerful. But Panda, how's your day going? I hope you're having a good one. Flower. When you play this character, look at the top card of your deck. Put it on either the top or bottom. That's fine. Let's see. The fantastical and magical. For each character that sings a song, draw a card and gain 1 lore. This seems like my kind of value town. Of like, I could quest out. Like, we could quest and gain 6 lore. Or we could sing this card, gain 3 lore, and draw 3 cards. Like, that seems like the card I would misplay 90% of the time. We did have that one card. Didn't we have a card like that was like a high singer count earlier? Oh, the Singer 6 Tiana is what I'm thinking of. So, like, it just feels like, you know, if we were to play this, I mean, of course, we're not attacking, but, like, we have 2 4-drops. Like, 2 4-drops in play and then, like, a 1-drop. Like, that's 3 lore, draw 3 cards. Like, that seems decent. Don't know how many of those that we would want because, like, this is good when you're ahead, in which case you should probably just be winning. But I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Let's add it to the list. Fantastical. Oh, and that's an awesome enchanted. Okay. Here, a card that I will actually be playing a lot of is Into the Unknown. So this is a song. Can be sung for 3. And then when put chosen exerted character into their player's inkwell face down and exerted. So this basically lets you turn your opponent's best character into ink for them. Kind of going back to like what we were talking about with Cusco, of like the problem with Cusco is it gets their worst character and they get a card. This gets their best character, but they get 1 extra ink going forward. And that feels worth it a lot of the time. This is definitely a card that I think myself and others will probably misplay a decent chunk of the time and like use this either too early or save it and use it too late, when you could have sniped something. But like the fact that there's a lot of cards in Lorcana that like let you exert things, and then this just lets you immediately get rid of it, that feels really strong. And then the biggest thing in Blurple as well is that we have Bell, which is a 3-cost card that we can banish an item to play for free. So this basically lets us have something in play from turn 1 that we could threaten into the unknown with. So like that seems pretty cool. We're not going to add this to the other list just because this is probably seen play no matter, or this is going to be seen play in my deck no matter what. And so I'm not overly interested in brewing with it, but yeah. I'm super excited to play this card. And my friends, I think, already said that they opened a couple extras. So I'm going to get those from them. Next up, everybody's got weaknesses. Move 1 damage from each damaged character you have in play to chosen opposing character. Draw a card for each damage counter moved this way. That feels really cool. Like, this kind of feels like Rapunzel. There's a Amber Rapunzel card. Yes, Gifted and Healing. When you play this character, remove up to 3 damage from one of your characters. Draw a card for each damage removed this way. So like that kind of feels like it's those same vibes, except you are based on the amount of damage. This like feels like a really cool, if you have damage scattered around your characters, snipe something. I've been playing in my deck, where is it? This Bell Accomplished Mystic that lets you move 3 damage from your character to another character. And there's a lot of cool plays that you can make where you challenge in with something. It gets damage. You play this Bell. You then use that damage to take out something else. And so there's some fun synergy there that you can do. And so this, I don't know, it feels fun. This could also be something I was talking up here, like with this Hades, and there's a lot of, or Mother Gothel as well, of like here, if you can play Mother Gothel and then play Everybody's Got Weaknesses, you immediately heal up your character and take something out and then have a challenger. Like that feels pretty cool. Let's add that to the list. Everybody's Got Weaknesses. Everybody's Got Weaknesses. Okay. That one I think is interesting. Basil. I opened so many of the set 7 Basils. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yes, I've opened so many of this card. Okay, when you play this character, you can return chosen character to their player's hand. So this lets you hit whatever you want, and then when this character quests, chosen opponent discards a card at random. I feel like this would be really fun if it wasn't a 7-drop. It just feels like this is going to be way too late of like, oh cool, you return something to my hand, I'm going to just replay it, and then now I don't have any cards in hand because it's turn 6 or 7 based on ramp or whatever. So but cool effect. If this had shift, I think we'd be in a different conversation. Fred, speaking of shift, this is so fun. Fred, giant sized. I'm gonna do this, can't read. When this character quests, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a Floodborn character card. Put that card in your hand and shuffle the rest into your deck. That feels pretty cool. There's already a bit of... Let's grab Fred. Add Fred to the list. Also, shout out to his name just being Fred. Like the fact that this just gets you Floodborns. And what's the other Fred? When you play this character, you can banish an item. That's fine. And then when this character is challenged, gain 2 lore. So, I mean, I would probably guess we'd be playing 4 of this Fred and like maybe 1 or 2 of this one. But that's an interesting like thing. If there's not necessarily another Floodborn deck. The big Hero 6 characters do care about Floodborns. That's like something that a lot of them have. And so it seems like that could be a cool piece for that deck. Gadget. When you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in hand than you, you may draw a card. That's cool. Yeah, quest for 2. That seems fun. Raya, when this character quests, you can pay 2 to ready another chosen character. Cool. There are some like win more combos with this card that are pretty funny. Of like, I can do all of this and gain 10 lore in one turn. It's like, yeah, but you probably should have won. Like, I don't know, it just feels like if you're gaining that much lore at once. Like, that being said, this is another card that I feel like is either going to be broken or unplayable. Of like, there's going to be something that you can do here, with the problem being that you need to go to your next turn. Rapunzel, 2/5 evasive. When this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn. That's fun. That feels like a cool like lock piece. It's like a fun. Ooh, and another really cool enchanted. But yeah, that feels like a cool way of like, hey, I'm gonna quest. You can't quest, and now I have tempo. Because I'm now ahead of you. Granted, that just kind of makes them challenge into you, which, like, is that good? I don't know. I think there are actions that make it so characters can't challenge, but I could be wrong. So it's possible that you could, like, lock a character out of both challenging and questing. Seems good. Flynn Rider, breaking and entering, which I'm shocked had not been used for Flynn yet. 1/4 quests for 3. When this character is challenged, the challenging player may choose and discard a card. If they don't, you gain 2 lore. That seems pretty cool. Like, it makes it so that, like, you're gaining 3 lore with Flynn. They're losing they're losing tempo for having to challenge into him, and then potentially going down a card. So, I mean, you probably affect, since he's only a 1/4, you're probably only doing a 1-for-1, where you're trading your Flynn for their 1 card. But the fact that you can have that in play seems really cool. This would be cool if we had a way of giving him resist, so that he was harder to take out, or give him more damage, so he's going to punch back much easier. Alice, shift 3. When this character quests, put 1 damage on each other character. Ugh, this would be so good with everybody's got weaknesses. But alas, you can only play 2 colors in your deck. But like, that feels like it would be so fun. There's probably other ways in these to move damage around. But it feels like you're probably going to end up. This would be an interesting card if it was your only character and your deck was like built around questing with this character a lot. So like, you're kind of using it as a way of like locking down your opposing characters, or having a lot of resist in your deck. There's not a lot of resist in those colors, but that's something I think would be interesting. The Queen quests for 3. If you have 5 or more characters with damage in play, this character quests for 3 more. I mean, awesome. But like, that does feel a little bit win more. So like, this counts as one of the 5. When there are 5 or more characters. Yeah. And it doesn't have to just be your characters, which does seem good. I don't know. It just feels like if there's that many characters in play with damage, like, that's kind of crazy. Like, I think that's something that, like, when I started Lorcana, I was thinking there was going to be a lot more of, but generally speaking, like, if there's, like, more than 2 or 3 characters with damage in play, that's weird. Just that, like, they couldn't be taken out or couldn't be healed. And so, obviously, you have these as, like, a combo. So, like, you can deal a damage and then have the Queen quest for a bunch. But, here we got Go-Go. Let's open her up on the big screen. Shift and evasive. When you play this character, if you use shift to play her, you can put chosen character into their player's inkwell face down and exerted. I like this Go-Go. So this is one of the cards, kind of going back to Fred. It's like Fred gets you a Floodborn, and then this is a Floodborn that if you shift, you get an effect off of them. Like, that's pretty cool. Granted, like, Fred is a shift 5 and she's a shift 4, so she would already be in play, but like, that could set up something cool for your next turn. And then obviously that also gets rid of something. Like, no, it's Space Go. Like, that seems cool. There is a new go-go in this set as well. When you play a Floodborn on this card, you can put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down. It's like it ramps you. This go-go is pretty playable as well. Oops. What is this one? When you play this character, you can pay 2 to gain lore equal to the damage on chosen opposing character. Yeah. Like, this feels like a pretty solid shell. Like, compared to the Fred, where like the non-shift Freds are just kind of playable, like mid. Like, this one feels like this could be a thing. Captain Hook shift. When you play or during your turn, when an opposing character is damaged, your pirate characters gain 2 attack and 2 resist this turn. So they need to. So basically, your first character needs to have taken normal damage to give the rest of your characters resist 2 for the rest of your pirates resist 2 for the rest of the game. There's a good like Emerald Steel pirate list that's kind of floating around. I think that would be interesting. We have Maui. I think this is another card that Rules of Villainy mentioned. Yeah, used more to stabilize than to quest. So when this character is banished, choose 1. Put 2 down damage on all opposing characters. There's a Bagheera that does that already, and so this kind of, it's in steel, and so this being kind of a secondary of that effect would be good. Banish all items or banish all locations. Quest for 3. That feels good. Like, that feels like that has some good options going on. IMO. Yeah, like that feels pretty good. Let's add that to the list. Maui. I don't know. There is another Maui from set 1 that's steel, but that's not the one that we would be playing necessarily. But the fact that this quests for 3 on its own, like, your opponent needs to stop this, but it, like, I feel like that is a good thing. Honey Lemon, when you play a shift character, if you use shift to play them, you can return chosen character to their player's hand. So this is cool with BOGO. So, like, you have a Honey Lemon in play and a go-go. You shift onto go-go, put one of their characters in their Inkwell, bounce another one to their hand, and, like, you've now, like, advanced your board and set them back by 2 characters. That feels cool. Archimedes. Oh, let's add Honey Lemon, actually. Honey. I do like that one. Okay. This is not like a card that, like, I would be excited to brew around, but, like, this feels like a really good role player in a deck that is built around shift, which, like I said, a lot of the big Hero 6 cards are. When you play this character, you can banish chosen item. Okay, that's good. What is this? It's a 3-drop. Quest for 2. Okay. During your turn, whenever an item is banished, you can draw a card, then choose and discard a card. So basically, you can get rid of something, immediately draw and discard, or if you happen to get rid of items on later turns. I feel like that's too, like, there are some good items in the format, but the fact that this card is only good against those cards. And this could hit, like, a location as well, similar to Maui. That'd be a bit much for a 3-drop, but I think that'd be interesting. We already talked Wrong Lever. Gyro Gear Loose. Evasive. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -3, it looks like. Yeah, -3. Yeah, probably not worth it. Just a little too little too late. Like, it doesn't help them, like, it doesn't help Gyro attack or quest or anything. Also, a lot of the blue-red lists currently don't play a ton of characters, or the ones that they play tend to be very big, to where, like, they're still going to kill you with -3 attack. So it would be interesting. But Ralph, when you play this character, chosen Racer gets +4 attack this turn. Kind of like the other Ralph we talked about. Like, could be cool, but Racers aren't really a thing. Tinkerbell. This is one that I'm excited about for Deanna's deck, because she plays Peter Pan that gets powered up if there's a Tinkerbell in play, and she just hasn't had access to a cheap Tinkerbell. So it's a 2/2 evasive. For one, when you play a character with 5 or more, you may exert them to gain 2 lore. So this is kind of just like a free 2 lore gain if this is in play. Otherwise, this is just an evasive quester. Seems pretty cool. Lilo, I love this art. Stomping Time. We haven't really talked about ability names, but man, Stomping Time is a great ability. During your turn, if you played 3 or more actions this turn, you can play this character for free. And then when you play this character, ready chosen character, they can't quest for the rest of the turn. So currently there's a Scrooge McDuck that is free if you exert 4 items, and getting 4 items is pretty trivial. The difference there is like those let you keep those items like stay in play, so you can use it to play a future Scrooge for free. Whereas this one, you've played 3 actions, and then those actions are gone. So if the actions made the card cheaper, so like if this cost 6 and then cost 2 less for each action you'd played, I think that would be pretty cool. So like you'd still have the games where you get it for free, but you don't lose anything if you can't get exactly 3 actions. Like this is like, I mean, I don't know what this is, a $20 card right now, but like that seems rough IMO, but I could be wrong and just completely underestimating like what you're doing with that. Lumiere, for those who come after. Shift 3, evasive, can't read the bottom because of the price thing. When one of your items is banished, this character gains 1 lore. There are some cool like banish your item type stuff going on. Obviously, like there's like stuff like Popsicle that you can just choose to banish, which would give this an extra lore. But I don't know, that seems interesting. It seems gimmicky, just because that as someone who played blue-red items, you don't really want to be losing your items that much, and so. But maybe like this could just have enough synergy to offset just with stuff that's already banishing itself. Loom. Is there so like this is when an item card while you have an item card in your discard, this character gains evasive. Okay. I think that's a pretty good shift target. And like the problem being that then you already have your item banished for this Lumiere. Mulan. Again, I love that this Jafar Tower thing just kind of is in the background of so many arts. This is another card that I think, I could have been doing it that way the whole time. That I think this would be another card that's good for Deanna's deck. Reckless, so they have to challenge and can't quest. During your turn, they gain evasive, and then this character can challenge readied characters. Like, that seems like a lot of cool stuff. Granted, they can't quest, like that. There is like a trade-off there, but there are a lot of cards in. I keep scrolling down and I'm thinking of something else. There's a lot of Ruby Steel cards that pay you off for challenging, so you could hopefully be gaining lore that way with them. Mushu. We did not have a Mushu in the game until last set, so getting more Mushus is hype. Shift 4. When you play another character, they gain Rush, Reckless, and Evasive this turn. So when you play a new character, they have to challenge, if able, and they gain Evasive. That's pretty cool. Like, it gives you, since you can't quest on your first turn, it kind of just gives you a free turn to do something with those characters. Okay, so then this one, chosen character gains Rush. Then this gets like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's a cool like synergy between those two. And then then you still have last set's Mushu as well. that gives you resist, and then when they banish a character, you gain 2 lore. I like that. I think that feels like a cool like set of cards. Another, this is Fallline. And when you have a character in play with more attack than each opposing character, this character gains 2 lore. So there's already like a Flynn rider that works with a similar ability, but you just gain lore at the start of your turn. If you have a character with the highest attack, strength, whatever. So this feels like that fits in that really well, and this gets to quest for more and is evasive. It feels like that could be good in that deck. Prince John, when an opponent plays a character, deal 1 damage to that character. Or deal to this character. That's right. So this basically gets smaller and smaller the more, because it's more and more scared. Fantastic flavor. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like if you can get 1 or 2 challenges out of this, you're in great shape. But I feel like those games are going to be few and far between. I feel like this is going to run into a similar problem as the Bambi that we talked about at the beginning, where this is going to just get damaged too quickly. You're going to trade 1 for 1, and then it's dead. And it doesn't quest for enough to be worth it. So this is a sing together for 8. Ready all your characters for the rest of this turn. They take no damage from challenges and can't quest. So that's cool. So like basically you can have all of your characters sing this, then they're protected. That's cool. You can quest out some beforehand with whatever you don't need to sing this. I like that. That's a fun one, possible for Deanna's deck. Most everyone's mad here. Gain lore equal to the damage on chosen character, then banish them? That's a fun removal spell if it didn't cost 7. Like if this was like a 3-drop, I'd be very interested in going back to Ruby. The Sword of Shang Yao. Exert and then exert one of your characters. Ready chosen character they can't quest for the rest of the game. Yeah. Nani. I think we have like, 2 rows? Yeah. 2 rows left. This one and 2 more. Another chosen character gains resist this turn. Okay. When characters lean low, gain support. That's cool. There are some really good Lilos. Obviously we have this one that we were just looking at, but like if you quest for this, then give 4 power to something else, like that would be pretty cool. I feel like you're probably playing this with Escape Artist though. Like Escape Artist and this Lilo are the ones that are typically playable. Those decks don't typically play blue though. Yeah. Again, this feels like a card that like could be super cool if there's ever like a big Lilo characteristic deck. Yeah. Stitch experiment 626. When you play this character, each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their inkwell face down. And then at the start of your turn, if this card is in your discard, you can choose and discard a card. An inkable card, I think is, yeah, with ink, to play this character for free, and he enters play exerted, which then makes it so your opponent's ink another card. Something I've talked about before with Lorcana, of like, I'm very curious to when/if we're going to hit the, you have now discarded cards for value, and then now you can go and get them back. So like for example, Magic has Faithless Looting, where you draw 2, discard 2 for 1 mana. Like if we were to get those style effects in Lorcana, like it feels like we're getting close to like the critical mass of characters that do things if they're in your discard, or get things back from the discard. We looked at the Perdita from earlier, which like I don't think you want to play with this card, but like I think I don't know. It feels like we're almost to something there. Ratigan. Also the card that just keeps coming back. Like getting a card back that quests for 2 is just really powerful, especially if you get closer to the end of the game, and it's harder and harder for your opponents to keep those cards from questing. So like you could hit the point in the game where like if your opponent's already at like 6 or 7 lore, like some decks don't need more than 4 lore or 4 ink. So like giving them more like gives them more options to double spell, but like doesn't intrinsically help them. So like you could definitely hit that point where just getting this back is net free. They have to attack it, then you can bring it back by discarding another card. You would need a good draw engine to do that, but that would be interesting. Okay, Ratigan, quests for 4. At the end of your turn, if you didn't put any cards in your inkwell this turn, banish this character. I mean, that feels free. Like, you're going to have so many cards that you can ink in blue. Granted, this is an 8-drop, which, I don't know, shocked to see this price. But, I mean, even if you get 1 quest out of this, you're gaining 4 lore. It just feels like there's so much. That's so much. Like, kind of going to what we were discussing earlier with Monstro, of just like, yeah, if you're hitting 8, great, but like you got to hit 8. Like that's not free, even in like a ramp deck. But maybe I'm just underestimating how easy it is to do that. So we have another very similar art, Aladdin and Jasmine, with Aladdin Vigilant Guard, a 1/9 with Bodyguard. When one of your ally character's quests, you can remove up to do 2 damage from this character. That's cool. So like he protects your characters, and then your other character's questing keeps him alive. That's fun. Jasmine, Steady Strategist. Shift 2. Okay. When this character quests, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You reveal an ally card from among them, put it in your hand, and put the rest on the bottom. That's a cool, like, I mean, I think this card is just good. Like some amount of the time, this is going to just draw you another card. This does hit the characteristic problem that I was talking about with puppies earlier, where this is a card that wants you to play allies, but is not an ally herself. And so if you hit another Jasmine, you just can't keep chaining them. Are there other Jasmines that are allies? No. Like that just feels so both this and the card that you're going to shift it onto, you don't have to shift it, but the card that you could shift it onto are not allies. It feels bad. That feels like it has to be a design decision to not have her or the set 8 Jasmine in specific. Like this is the 1-drop that you would want to shift onto. To have them both not be allies, that feels like that had to have been intentional. Another sick enchanted. Geppetto, quests for 2. Whenever this character quests, you can choose and discard any number of item cards to gain 1 lore for each item discarded this way. That feels cool. That's a fun way of like sniping a bunch of extra lore. That feels better than the set 7 Bell that puts them back into your deck. Because there's enough ways of getting items out of your discard. Like, that feels cool. There's a 5. That's not awful. Like, if you can discard 2 or 3 cards and then turn 6, get them back with Tamatoa, that seems pretty good. Remove 3 damage from any number of creatures. Once it's all opposing characters, get -3 this turn. If that lasted until your next turn, that would be cool. But basically, this is just like a big heal. I feel like you're probably better off questing or doing something else. IMO. Like, play the other one that lets you move the damage. Down in New Orleans, we talked to this earlier. Look at the top 3. You can get a character, item, or location for free. Man, that's my kind of jam right there. Did we put this on the list? No, we didn't. Down. Okay. Like, this is me trying to, like, avoid having to type all the cards since I've been having spelling struggles. But, like, here we are, just doing more work. That feels cool. Again, this is, like, my kind of card of, like, it's very collected company. Like, just get something cool for free. What could you get? And, like, there's so many cool options. Especially since the Tiana sings it. It'd be a very interesting Amber Amber Sapphire. Okay, then Belle's favorite book. Banish one of your other items for the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down. I mean, that's cool with the Lumiere, but always having an item that you can banish feels like a struggle. Atlantean Crystal. A chosen character gets resist to and support until the start of your next turn. The fact that that lasts, so you can then quest out, they have that support, or they give their power to someone else and then can protect themselves. That's cool. That's a card that interests me. I don't know where this would play necessarily, but that does seem like a cool card. Vinny, green pigeon, just like Atlantean Crystal, just some pigeon. During your opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, gain a lore. That's cool. So that's like a lot of the steel challenge cards are like, when you challenge, you get this bonus. This is an actual, like, on your opponent's side, this protects you. That's cool. Iago, while you have another exerted character in play, this character can't be challenged. That's fun. Out of reach. Okay, I see you. So that's fun. So it's kind of like reverse bodyguard. Like, this makes it so another character has to protect Iago. Okay. Nathaniel Flint. Let's see. Storyborn, villain, alien, pirate, captain. Damn. Okay, when you play this character, unless an opposing character... You can't play unless an opposing character was damaged this turn. 3/3 for 2. That seems cool in, like, a challenging deck. Like, it's not hard to challenge and then get to play this, since it's only a 2-drop. And yeah, that seems pretty cool. It challenges well. There's a lot of good 2-drops for steel, but, like, that seems solid. When you play then Vincenzo, we're going to Atlantis. When you play this character, you can deal 3 damage to chosen character. Quest for 3. It'd be cool if this wasn't a 7-drop. Namari, Locke, how you doing? I hope you're having a great day. When you play this character and at the start of your turn, you can draw a card, then choose and discard a card. Ben Lurkin, was playing some GTA Online. Nice. I hope GTA went well for you. I have not played that in a hot minute. But I played a little bit. This character gets 1 for each card in your hand. I like how I just, like, mumble strength or whatever it's called. So this kind of goes to, like, what I was saying with Stitch. Of, like, this is something that, like, wants to be discarding cards. And, like, if you have cards that you then have value of being in your discard, like, that seems pretty cool. This character gets, yeah. And then, like, I mean, if this is like a 3 or a 4, that feels solid. Mickey Mouse, Giant Mouse. This would be good with that Amber Mufasa. You get to play this in for free. When this character is banished, deal 5 damage to each opposing character. Your buddy and partner apparently been playing it and asked if you wanted to join them. Nice. Getting it set up and doing those tutorials. Nice. Yeah. I, like, enjoyed the ideas of GTA Online more than I enjoyed actually playing it. And so, but yeah. Buffalo coming in. Prince John Rare is very good for you in Red Amber. 19-4 with a Mufasa build. Ooh. This Prince John? Oh, maybe I'm underestimating how quickly it would die. How often are you trading it, like, 1 for 1? Like, that's my, like, not a problem, but, like, that would be my worry is, like, you are playing this, they're playing a character, you maybe get 1 challenge. Oh, I wasn't thinking about it with Flynn. Yeah, we talked about Flynn and Tink. But this just being, like, a 5 power for them, yeah, that does feel good. Let's see. Our last card here is, or second to last card, Stitch. Tend to focus him, which leaves Daisy. Oh. See, like, then reap value. So like I feel like that's like counter to how I would expect people to play. Like I feel like my expectation then Rapunzel value. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I would just like expect people to leave Prince John alone. Like he doesn't like obviously he's a big guy, but like I feel like for a lot of and maybe this is just like what my play pattern would be. Is like I just feel like, hey, I'm not challenging into this. Like he doesn't have bodyguard, he doesn't quest for a ton. Like if you want to challenge my stuff, fine. But like you can 1-for-1. And I feel like I would just like be prioritizing Daisy. Interesting. Great insight, Buffalo. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. If he quested for more, I could see him being left alone. But granted, I'm like just kind of thinking more in a vacuum versus thinking of him in a deck like with Flynn and Tink and with all of that kind of stuff. Like you kind of have to get him off the board at some point, but it just feels like you'd hit a point where you're like, okay, here's 2 characters, and then now we can take him out or something. Trade 1-for-1. Maximus build 2. Which Maximus? This Maximus? 30 turn characters have 5 or more gain 2. Oh yeah, that's solid. Yeah, the red one. Okay. And if you have any in play with 10 or more, gain 5 lore instead. I mean, yeah, I guess that's free 5 or free 2 lore with him. Huh. Yeah, and like I said, you get to protect him with Rapunzel. Like that's pretty solid. Yeah, maybe I'm just like thinking of it more in a vacuum versus like in the context of a game where like you actually have to like be thinking about these other cards. Yeah, fantastic insight. Stitch, during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you can draw a card and gain a lore. Fantastic card. I think this is going to be super fun to play. Only a 3/4, which I do think could be a problem for 4, but this seems like if you can banish one character with Stitch, you get to replace itself. Like that feels pretty good. I'm playing Blurple at the moment, and so I got some cool stuff coming from this set. Yeah, this art is very cool. They do a great job with their Stitch art. I like this art, I think, more than this one. Although, doesn't this one have an Enchanted? Yeah, like this one, the Enchanted is really cool. Like I like this silliness for Stitch. This one I'm not like a huge fan of. But like I like this one more than like the base art for that other one. But yeah, if you can get like one card off this Stitch and it replaces itself, like that feels pretty good. Like, let alone all this other like steal stuff that gives you value when you challenge. And so, and finally, Desperate Plan. If there are no cards in hand, draw until you have 3 cards in hand. Otherwise, choose and discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards. I like the payout here of like, if you have a lot of cards in hand, you can just draw 7. But if you have none, you get to draw up. I think that's a really cool card. This is probably another card for Deanna's deck, where just like some amount of the time you're going to just draw 3, and that's pretty good. Lots of good Ruby Steel, or like pieces for her deck. So those are the cards, or those are the rares and above. Some cool stuff like. Of the stuff, these are kind of the stuff that I am interested in. I'm super interested in this Ludwig. That was like one of the first ones. I like this Go-Go shell of the like Honey Lemon Go-Go. We got the hero in the last set. Like those are all pretty cool ideas. This Rapunzel seems fun. Perdita. We might brew this real quick. This card seems really cool. And yeah, this Fred, or we could brew this like Big Hero 6 deck. I might do that real quick. And then everybody's got weaknesses. Yeah. And then Buffalo, this is what I'm playing right now. So this is not updated for the new set, but like this is my current Blurple. And so we'll be playing like, I know I said that. We'll be playing, I didn't add them. I'm interested in Pinocchio for the deck. I'm interested in Anna for the deck, and obviously like Into the Unknown is going to be a huge thing. But like I don't know if these are gonna make the cut. I am I putting Whale in? Short term, my answer is no. I could see playing one or two, but like, yeah, this is cool Monstro art. But like, I don't know. I was saying this as we were talking through the other cards of like, I feel like if I'm at 8, there are just other things I would rather have done. And like, I don't know if Monstro is bailing me out of those situations, whereas drawing more cards to then hit an Elsa might get me out of that situation. And so like if I'm at 8, nothing else in play, they have one character that could win the game. Like Friends on the Other Side into Elsa, this Elsa, into Anna, or into like Peter Pan to take something out. Like that just feels like a better play pattern, or the play pattern that I would much rather have. But I mean, why not also Whale? Like I'm considering taking out some number, probably of followers, and going down to just 4 Ravens. But I would be very curious to see like what that's going to look like, and if we're going to get up to Whale. I was hoping that we would get more ways of getting some lore or getting some ink in this deck, since I cannot find Anna. But like I really like the idea here. There's not really an Elsa that works with it, but I would be curious if there's a way that we can get some more ramp in. I don't think Sapphire needs another. Needs more Inkwell, like low drop stuff, but I would be curious if that's hello. There we go. Inkwell. Another puppy in play. Go Snitch. This character. Yeah, like there's not another card that lets you put something into your Inkwell. That's cheap. You like the 1-drop lists, like compared to skipping turn 1. I feel naked if you don't play on turn 1. I was playing Ruby Sapphire before the ban, and actually like having things to play on turn 1 was really weird. That was definitely like a weird like transition going to this deck. Granted, like we also have Bell, so like turn 1 Possicle into Bell into Friends on the Other Side is so much fun. I got that at like my first league playing this deck, and man, it felt so good. Or like Friends on the Other Side into draw another Friends on the Other Side. Like that's my kind of value. And so yeah, let's go. Let's open up another. What am I doing? Am human. We can just do this deck builder. Making this way more complicated. I want to let's brew some like Big Hero 6 real quick. I want to get Tipo and Sail, because I can't just like not play those. I think Friends will see a reprint because of the number. Yeah. You're on ads. It happens. Oh yeah. I recently changed how I am viewing. Like I'm back to stream elements, so I actually have views into ads now. And I gotta tell you, it's weird having to think about it. Okay, then let's go Big Hero 6. So I do like this Fred. Let's put 2. Let's do 3 of these. Let's do 4 of those. That feels wrong. Let's do 2 and 2. Ready, Chosen, Floodborn. This being like a non-conditional ready is kind of cool. Let's put one of those in. We'll see what goes. I like this Go-Go. 2, 3, 4. I like that. The tempo there. Honey Lemon is very cool. Kim Purse, when you play this character, if you used shift to play them, gain 4. Basically, lets you attack really easily. Wasabi, when you play a Floodborn on this card, you can put a card from the top card of your deck. I like that Go-Go. Oh, this is the hero I was talking about. Shift 5, your other your Floodborn characters with a card under them have evasive and ward. I played against this deck at League. It was really interesting. But I like this shell here of like this hero into that hero. Is you don't believe Ariel gets a reprint. Oh, because the Singer 7 Ariel Rare has got a reprint. Interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what we're going to see get reprinted in set 9. My biggest thing is we need I just want Elsa Spirit of Winter, which feels like the biggest shoe-in to get a reprint, but like I'm gonna be super sad if it doesn't happen. But yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Of like if you're losing the tutoring Ariel, and so you need another way of getting those. I was talking to some friends after League. I am curious about Be Prepared as well. I think it'd be super interesting if Be Prep doesn't get a reprint, or at least isn't reprinted right away, just because there's no other like unconditional board wipe. But obviously we have like other removal spells and stuff in red, and so I'd be very curious about Be Prep, because like what is Big Sisu? Big Sisu is rotating as well. And so, yeah, I like, and to your point, you think they have to print, like, I think it would be crazy to not have an unconditional board wipe in the game. But like, I could see them just printing some like action more akin to Sisu, like we have with the steel one that deals damage. I could see them doing something like that, where instead of being unconditional, it's characters with 3 or below power, or 3 or above, like something that like hits some weird thing, rather than just having another unconditional board wipe. Where did this go? Here it is. Let's see. Oh, we have our Universal Shift Baymax. Let me play this. I like probably 3 of those. The fact that this can shift onto any of them. When you play a Floodborn, if you used shift to play them, remove 2 damage. That's probably like not great, but we'll put that in. Baymax. I like this Baymax. I think I have 1 or 2 of... no, I'm thinking of a different one. You may reveal a Floodborn card. Put it in your hand. Put the rest... Oh, so this kind of works along the same lines as Fred. Where like... that Fred is when they quest versus this is when they're played. That's fun. That's fun. Reverse Under the Sea. What is Under the Sea? All opposing characters with 2 or less on the bottom. Yes, exactly. Yeah, something like that, where like they start divvying up the way that board wipes work better between the colors. So like steel has like deal damage to all characters board wipes. Then like give emerald the like this gets rid of small things. And then give red this gets rid of big things, like or something like that. Versus having an actual pure unconditional board wipe. I think would be super interesting in a game that is as aggro as Lorcana, where like compared to like other TCGs, like almost all Lorcana decks are aggro except for like the most control decks. And so I think giving like more like specific ways that cards need to interact would be super interesting. Or that the colors need to interact would be super interesting. So it's like now to like cover your bases, this will rotate, but like, do you play Under the Sea and play this hypothetical red sweeper? So that way you have both sides covered, versus just play Be Prepared. And so I think that could lead to some cool deck building stuff. Go-Go, definitely playing that Go-Go. I think we'll get set 1 legendary from each color from the past. Get 1 legendary from each color from the past sets. Hades for blue. I've been like holding off on Hades because I think he's just expensive enough that I don't want to buy him if he doesn't get reprinted. That's another one that I was talking to my friend about, and he was big on Hades not getting reprinted because of this Go-Go. Like, since this does basically the same thing as a shift. And like that was like his argument for why we won't see Hades, of like they probably don't want 4 of this. Now granted, for this one you need to shift for it to do anything. But like that was something that I thought was really interesting. Let's put in 3 of these. You need to pay 2 for each opponent to have each opponent. Let's do, oh man. And then but yeah, I'm curious about all of that. For an item card or a robot, don't care about that. When you play this kind of quests, when you play this character, you can banish an item. Its player gains lore. Not huge on that. It's 1 for each item in play. During your turn, when this character is banished, put the top. I want to like effects like these, where it's like when they lose value. There's a grandma that does this as well. But that seems cool. Another one of your characters. That's a fun Baymax. Of like, it's cheaper if you have an inventor. Items. I love this art for yokai. Let's see. Inventor is at the start of your turn. If you have a character here, gain a lore. Let's put that in as a sample. Then now we're into like the promo versions. Like, what is it? Like, this seems super interesting. It's a little all in. Like, that's definitely the problem. Like, you're all in on your shifts. It feels like you probably like need. I just don't know. I just don't know green cards very well. Like, I've just never played Emerald. Like this seems like the kind of deck that is really good until your opponent interacts with you. And then like if you have an opponent that is able to like stop you in any way whatsoever, you're just completely screwed. Especially with it being like so Big Hero 6 themed. Like, are there other like inventors? Oh, it's oh no, I don't want characteristics. I want contains. Because I specifically want to see if there's anything that are like payoffs for these characters. Clarabelle Shift feels, oh yeah, and that's kind of the problem here, I think, of where just putting these cards together ends, of like, why are you not just playing Clarabelle Shift? Why are you not playing Diablo? Like, there's so many of those cards that are just like, well, you should probably just be playing those. Which is like an unfortunate thing. That's like unfortunately the meta kind of dictates like those style of decks. Let's see, is there any? Yeah, there's nothing. Rip. Why is this here? Look at the top card of your deck. How does it? Oh, inventory. Okay. The Geppetto seems like it could be interesting, but not for this deck. What is Geppetto? Is it? No. Am I just crazy? Oh, this is Geppetto. Oh, with that G. Yeah. When this character quest, choose and discard any number of items to guess. I think this Geppetto is very interesting. The fact that you can just like discard 3 or 4 cards, gain 3 or 4 lore. Yeah, I think that's super interesting for a more item-focused version, which is like where I'm hoping we go with blue. As someone who like is frustrated with Tamatoa. And that being like one of the big reasons I moved off of red blue. But yeah, I think that would be really interesting. Let's see. Okay, what are the other Floodborns in these colors? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, like here's the Clarabelle. And Clarabelle's not rotating? Oh. For some reason I thought Clarabelle was. I guess for me, like I didn't really start playing until like right as set 7 came out. And so for me, like everything is just like an older card. That's not in set 7. So, because I came in the very end of set 6. For each opposing damage. That's cool Robin Hood art. Each opponent chooses one of their characters and returns it to their hand. Don't like that. The Queen is cool, but I don't think is good. Which other character? Yeah, is not good in this deck. Have I played other TCGs? This is your first. You started in Shimmering. Nice. I've been like collecting since first chapter. I'm going to say collecting. I've been buying packs since set 1. But like it wasn't until recently that I actually like started playing and going to locals, which has been amazing. I love my shop that I play at. And then for other TCGs, I've played a lot of Magic the Gathering. Not necessarily competitively, although there has been some of that. Like I played a lot of Limited for Magic for specific sets, and then I've played some Standard and Modern, and then I play like online. But and then I've also during college I played some competitive Pokemon. Again, just kind of like local events, nothing crazy, but like I played in like some states and stuff like that. One of my roommates got like really into the competitive scene, and so I would play some with him, or I would play against him a lot, and then would go to some events with him. And so, and then I've played Yu-Gi-Oh, but that was just like kids playing cards. Like it wasn't even like playing against other people that I didn't know. I'm interested in like Flesh and Blood, but just never got into it. Let me draw a card. Yeah, like again, like Diablo is just like we just kind of get into that point with this deck where it's like, why are you not playing Diablo? Why are you not playing Clarabelle? Of like these are just such good cards. Let's see. This is another card. This Helga. Deal 3 damage to chosen character. That like I feel like this card feels so strong to me and just is not playable. Like as I put some in the deck. But any set 8, I have not either. Yeah. To be mega expensive, isn't it? Find this game mega expensive. Haven't bought any set 8. Something that I like about Lorcana, compared to other games, is that a lot of the cost of the cards is based into very specific cards. So like using my Blurple deck, which is by no means like the most competitive up to date version of it, but like using this as an example, like this deck's $121, which is a lot, but like where is it? Like 40 of those dollars are Genie, another 20 is Elsa, another like 12 is this Elsa. Like those cards are like half the deck value for those 10 cards. And the thing that I like about that is one of the things that makes like Magic really expensive is the land cards. which, like, at least for this, like, my expensive cards are the cards I want to play, not the lands that I have to play. So I feel better spending $10 on Genie than I would be if I had to buy a card that just makes purple ink. And so it's a little bit of copium for sure, but like, but yeah, that's definitely something that like I like about Lorcana versus other games. And then I don't know what your meta looks like, but for like my local meta as well, it feels like Lorcana is much less punishing if you're not, is much less punishing if you're not playing a tier 1 deck. Or you're not playing the most tier 1 version of the deck compared to other TCGs that I have played. Where when I've played Pokemon or when I've played Magic in the past, it's like, hey, if you're not playing the tier 1 version of this deck, you're just getting stomped by everything else in the format. Whereas like for Lorcana, like can start with this and then every week get 1 or 2 more cards, like that kind of vibe. I feel like that's a lot more reasonable in Lorcana than it is in other games. Granted, I'm not doing super competitive tournaments where like I would need like the more meta versions of stuff. So like here, it's like if I decide to not run Iagos, like I'm not out $20 or something. But yes, it is expensive, but I do feel like it's at least more focused. But again, that's all just perception. That is not based on anything specific. I really like this bell. I think this is another, I could see this bell getting reprinted. Because I feel like that was like an iconic card from set 2. During your turn, each player draw this Flynn. What does this Flynn do? Oh, -1. Then, this is another card I need to look into, is getting some of those Gastons from my deck. Because this card, I love this art, but like this card is also super cool. Yeah. What is this? Oh, that's remove up to 2 damage. But yeah, I have not bought any set 8. I'll start getting some as like prize packs for League, but then I have some friends that opened up quite a bit, and so I'll probably just end up getting the singles that I need from them, and then we'll start just figuring out what I'm going to do next. So this is cool. Let me get rid of this. I'm currently trying to sell all your play sets of Sapphire, Steel, and Emerald. Oh, wow. Why? I guess you're playing Amber Ruby from what you were posting earlier. So you'll just play the other colors. I do feel like that's, and you can do this in other TCGs as well. I do feel like that's one of the nice things about Lorcana, of like, hey, if you want to focus up on like specific colors or a specific archetype, it's much easier to do that. I feel like I am like so all over the place that I'm like I just like grabbed by like, this is a cool card or a cool deck. I would love to, at the moment you're playing them all. And that's kind of how I feel like I just get grabbed. Let's look at songs. Types songs. So I do feel like, I hate that I can't just click off of that. I do feel like one of the values of like a shift deck is that we have 59 characters. All is found is really good. Not opposed to, we could be immortals. And again, like here, like, well, do we need to play You're Welcome? Because like it's a really good card, but we're not playing the discard stuff. You wanted Ink Geyser to be good. I was scared of Ink Geyser being good. That was the type of card where like this feels like it's either going to be meta defining or not playable. And like I was super scared of what that was going to be. There's that Under the Sea. We don't talk about Bruno. Discards a card. So like, I like that one. It's a nice synergy piece. -3. Top 7 cards, put 2 in your hand and the rest in the bottom. That's a cool card. I haven't seen that one before. Treasures Untold, 2 items from your return, 2 items. It's like, man, this is the same cost as Tamatoa. Very scared. The green steel. Yeah. I think I've seen some of the green steel lists like floating around. Yeah, it seems very good. I feel like this card did something else. Banish chosen item or blank. Oh, how far I'll go. That's a good one in this style deck. I don't think we want 4, but let's get some Let It Goes as well. This is a card I need to find some slots for in my deck, but this is probably going to end up just being Into the Unknown instead. You think they will reprint How Far? That one seems like a pretty reasonable reprint to me. I think it's supposed to be like half set 9 is reprints, I think is what's been implied, but I could be wrong there. And I could see that being reprinted. Those are all the songs in Sapphire Emerald. Does not feel like a lot. 50%. Okay. This is a fun, like, and we need Clarabelle. We need like a smaller Clarabelle. I think it's probably that one. Has more cards in hand, draw a card. I mean, I like that. I just like cards that draw me cards. Like the 1-drop is probably better, but like, I just like cards like that. Yeah. This one is your other characters with a support gain plus. That's cool, like support synergy. Yeah. I mean, like, is this deck good? Definitely not. But like, we have what, 82 cards? We have way too many. Can we go? We have it like not an awful curve. It's not good, but like we have way too many 5s and above. I feel like that's the challenge of shift focus decks, is that you end up, you can end up like, if your low drops get answered, you just end up with these like higher cost cards that can't do a lot. 2 damage, Tipo. Oh, and then this also needs Morph. If you're playing a shift deck, you should be playing Morph because you can shift everything onto it. And then I guess we also need Diablos. You think I could spell? I'm curious if this Diablo will see a reprint. Let me look at your opponent's hand. But like, yes, like this, it's like we're playing this, but we're not playing Ursula. Like it does kind of feel like there's a good Baja Blast deck, and it just feels like we are not playing a lot of those cards. This is like the struggle of like brewing decks versus playing like established ones. But most of this doesn't rotate. Like this could be a card or a deck that sees a lot of stuff going forward. You lose Diablos. And then I think most other things, and you lose Helga. I think mostly everything else stays. Oh, for some reason I thought Tipo... I forgot that we were keeping Tipo after rotation. I thought we were losing that, but keeping Sail. At random... I really like All Is Found. Beautiful Enchanted for that one. Gain a lore. This feels like... I don't know. It feels like playing that just because. What locations do we have? Type locations. Do we have anything else that's good? Is challenged here. His opponent chooses and discards. And play a character for 1 less. The first action, pay 1 less. Second action, gain lore. If you have a character here, you may put the top card of your deck. That's this is a card that I like. Is this card good? No, but like I think that's like a fun, like you have a character there and just get a free extra ink every turn. Robin Hood here for free. Characters gain ward and 2 and 1 deal 2 damage to a chosen character. That's cool. Reckless. That's fun. I mean, granted, they're gonna just attack into the rainforest, but like that's a fun like gotcha card of like, hey, you're gonna win on your next turn. Just kidding. You're gonna have to devote enough to attack rainforest. Characters with support and 1 while here, or 2. Yeah, 1 lore and 2 defense. Each player plays a top card of their deck face up. I do have, this is another card that like I want to build this style deck of like with the Brunos, and like there's a lot of cards that like seeing the top of your deck would be helpful, obviously for just general value, but like playing something like that I think would be super interesting. While you're here in exerted, where you have an exerted character, opposing characters get -1 lore. This would be cool. Get like the play set out, but just 4 ink and 2 lore. Feels like too much. 3 items. This character gets, or this location. It's a fun card. I feel like I haven't seen that one. Quest here, remove 2 damage from them. If a hero is here, remove up to 4 damage. That's cool. I assume we have like a decent number of, like I would assume the big hero 6 characters are heroes. Yeah, so like that kind of synergizes. Let's put one of those in. What is the cost on that? It's a 3 cost. Characters have ward and evasive. Characters are challenged, banished here. Banish the challenging character. God, move 3 to move it there. It's just brutal though. Bell's house. Character here, pay 1 less to play items. The McDuck Manor. People are very scared of green steel. Is that like blue steel? Blue steel is a deck, which is like did really confuse me about your comment, Panda Boy. Whereas I think you're making a Zoolander reference. But yeah, blue steel is actually a deck. Is banished while here. You may. Okay, was a Zoolander? Perfect. That's a movie I need to rewatch. I haven't seen Zoolander in a while. When a character is banished while here, you input that card into your inkwell face down. That's cool. Yeah. I don't know. Like, we obviously got 30 extra cards. But this is a fun. This is now like my problem with deck building of like, we have built way too much and I'm so bad at ratios of like what is the right amount of like obviously playing 73 characters is like objectively wrong. So it's like, well, where do we focus up? Like I think that goes away. I think there's not a like I honestly think like even this honey lemon, like I think that's 2 win more. As much as I like that, I think that honey lemon goes. I could see us cutting T-pose here. But like that feels bad just because I like T-po. Let's see, this Baymax. It's also possible we should just be playing like the lower Baymax, like the one that enters exerted. And that like that this is that's a cut, this one stays. Clarabelle. What one was this? When you play this character, has more cards. Yeah, so I can. It's probably a cut. I like that one a lot though. let's see, go. You're going to test madrigals next. I was brewing a madrigals list for set 7 that I never got far in the brewing process, but I did start brewing that. I think that the madrigals, do I still have it? Yeah. This was like my very rough pass. Honestly shocked that this is even actually 60 cards. This was like my very rough pass of aggro madrigals. Yeah, the new song's very good. This was kind of just me literally throwing cards together. I don't even have the shift Maribel in this deck, but okay. Fred, finish this up. I want to get this to a 60 and then call it. Maybe Fred is just too much. If we're playing, oh no, did we cut Baymax? We did cut the other Baymax. Maybe Fred stays then. Hero has to stay, Clarabelle has to stay, Baymax. We're probably cutting Helga's if we're not playing. So these are our Hero, Go-Go, Baymax, Clarabelle, Fred, and those are, or I guess these 5 are our, oh, and Diablo are our shifts. This deck doesn't play Tipo then. We have Morph to cover. It's possible that we don't want a full play set of some number of our shift targets. But we'll leave that here for now. Sail, how far? Immortals, I don't know. Immortals is cute, but maybe it's not good. I like Bruno. Maybe we just shouldn't be doing that. We just shouldn't be getting cards back. Institute, and maybe we just are not a locations deck. What does that put us? This puts us to exactly 60. There's no way that this is no way that this is correct, but set 8 Baja Floodborns. There's no way that this is the playable version of this deck, but yeah, I mean something like this, Fred on 1, requesting, Morph on 2, immediately shift into Diablo? Question mark? Probably not, because we couldn't quest with him, but or couldn't get him exerted to get the effect, but that feels like a good opener. Obviously, it would be better if we had the Diablo instead of Fred, but then we have Sail to build up with the cards that we draw off Diablo. Yeah. Fred stayed in the exact same spot. Hero, let it go. This one. So in this, I think we'd obviously mulligan the second hero. We're probably mulliganing Bruno and probably the other hero, mulliganing these and let it go. Mulligan that way. Double Go-Go is rough, but this would give us, we only have 1 other Inkable or 2 other Inkables. Wow. That was not pain. We have 13. I guess that's not miserable. That's definitely high, though. But that's going to kind of be the nature of playing a lot of... Well, I say that. Yeah, I guess we have 12 uninkables. So here we have Go-Go, Hero. So I think we're ditching this. Ditching those. So we have turn 1 this, turn 2 go-go, turn 3 hero, turn 4 go-go, turn 5 big hero if we draw it again. Like this seems, I don't know, decent. Probably the best words for it is like probably inking Fred on turn 1 to play Diablo, and then inking hero to play go-go. Very interesting. Fun exercise, for lack of a better way of saying it. But I do think that's probably where we're going to call it for today. I had a lot of fun talking Lorcana. I definitely want to do some more Lorcana content. I wanted to do some like spoiler stuff as stuff was coming out, but like just did not work out for when I was available and when I was streaming. But hopefully we'll do some more Lorcana in the future. I'm definitely interested in, like I said, doing more. I want to get some more gameplay too. I have like my setup can be pretty decent for doing like streaming Lorcana, like gameplay, if I had somebody to play against for those. I say that I have people, I just have to like organize it. But I think that could be a lot of fun too. Kind of go through and brew some decks and actually like have them playing. But I don't know. I say this as I'm like flipping through cards that y'all can't see. But yeah, really excited to kind of go through and see where Lorcana guides me. It kind of, the recent stuff kind of hit me at like a really good time when I was like looking to get back into something competitive, and like the Lorcana scene was kind of taking off around me. And so definitely excited for some more stuff there. But we'll see what next week looks like. I'm not overly sure where I'm at on some like specific games or anything like that. I'm mostly done with Expedition 33, so I don't think we'll be doing that. I do want to shout out over on First Geek for 11. We will be doing our The Last of Us Season 2 spoiler cast tomorrow. And the following week we'll be doing Doctor Who spoiler cast. And so go check that channel out as well to hear me and Emma talk about those. And then I don't think I had anything else too specific. But yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the day. I hope the stream with the new multi went well. I have to go check out YouTube and make sure we're good over there. But I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their Sunday, a great start to the week, and I will catch everyone later. Bye.